Shenandoah National Park in Virginia features rugged mountain ridges, lush forests, streams, and waterfalls, and stunning vistas that vary with the changing foliage each season. Because this park experiences 4 seasons, it is an exciting place to visit throughout the year, offering a chance to see different flora and fauna each time you go back. In this video, I'm going to describe 10 great things to do in Shenandoah National Park, keeping in mind different ages and activity levels. Hey guys, I'm Stoof from Travel SzN. Welcome back if you are subscribed to our channel, and if you aren't following our YouTube channel yet, you're missing out on some helpful travel tips and information, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Alright, before I get into this list, I want to briefly show you this park map for Shenandoah National Park and let you know that this map is going to come up again throughout the video as I talk about the location of each featured item on this list. Number 1 on our list is to enjoy a scenic ride on Skyline Drive, and don't forget to stop at the overlooks. Skyline Drive is the main road that goes through Shenandoah National Park. It stretches about 105 miles from the north entrance at Front Royal to the south entrance at Rockfish Gap near the town of Waynesboro, Virginia. In addition to the north entrance station at Front Royal, the south entrance station at Rockfish Gap, there are 2 additional entrance stations for entering the national park: the Thornton Gap entrance at mile 31.5 and the Swift Run Gap entrance around mile 65. Skyline Drive is labeled with mile markers starting with mile 0 at the north entrance and mile 105 at the south entrance. So as you make your way through the national park, keep an eye out for those mileposts on the side of the road so you have an idea of where you are in the park. Skyline Drive was constructed throughout the 1930s with the growing popularity of motor vehicles. It offered motorists a way to enjoy a leisurely drive through the Blue Ridge Mountains while being able to stop at the overlooks to take in some incredible views. Skyline Drive offers the same experiences for national park visitors today. While you're following Skyline Drive, no matter where you enter the park, be sure to stop at one of the 75 overlooks for chances to see wildlife and mountain vistas. One quick safety tip is to make sure you follow the speed limits while you are driving along Skyline Drive. There are a lot of windy, curvy turns on this road, and there could be deer, squirrels, groundhogs, or even black bear crossing the road just around the bend, so you don't want to be going too fast and you don't want to run into any of those critters while you're enjoying your ride. Number 2 on our list is to hike down to Dark Hollow Falls. And I say hike down because it is downhill to get to the waterfall and uphill all the way back. Dark Hollow Falls parking area is located at mile marker 50.7, just north of the Big Meadows area and the Harry F. Byrd Visitor Center. This parking area fills up pretty quickly as this is one of the most popular hikes in the park. It's about 0.8 miles hiking downhill to get to the viewpoint looking up at Dark Hollow Falls. Coming back is 0.8 miles, the same way you came, and it's 583 feet of elevation gain to get back to that parking area. This trail is rated as moderately challenging due to the elevation gain. I think this is a doable hike for beginner hikers. I just recommend bringing some water with you and taking your time, as there's a decent amount of elevation gain on this relatively short hike. Here is the view of Dark Hollow Falls in November, and here is the view of Dark Hollow Falls in mid-October. There are steps and rocks in the trail. This is not an accessible trail for strollers or wheelchairs. Number 3 on our list is to try a mini scramble up Bear Fence Mountain. Bear Fence Mountain offers some of my favorite views in the national park. The trailhead parking area is located at mile marker 56.4, just south of the Big Meadows area in the central part of the park. The trailhead is on the opposite side of the street from the trail, so make sure you cross over that crosswalk area to begin your hike. The Bear Fence Mountain hike is only a 1-mile loop with less than 300 feet elevation gain, but don't let that fool you. There is a scramble. I say it's a mini scramble because it is a mini/baby version of Old Rag in my opinion, which is coming up somewhere else on this list later. If you've never done a rock scramble before where you have to use your upper body to free climb up little sections of rock, I don't know if I could recommend this one for you. As I was doing the hike, I had no problems with this because I'm an experienced scrambler, but there were several other hikers that were pretty stressed out on this trail, so if you're not familiar with rock scrambling, or you're unsteady with your balance, or you have very little upper body strength, I don't recommend this hike for you. The rock scramble is just a short section of the hike. Once you get through that scramble, you're up on the rocks with those beautiful views. You make your way back down, and then the second part of the hike is on a path through the forest, and there is no scramble on that part back to your vehicle. Number 4 on our list is to hike and scramble up to the top of Old Rag Mountain. This is one of the most strenuous and fun day hikes that you can do in Shenandoah National Park. There are several possible ways to get to the top of Old Rag Mountain, but there is a best way to do it, and it is the most fun way, and that is to park at the Old Rag Mountain Fee Station, located on the eastern boundary of the park. This is not on Skyline Drive. It's about a 30-minute drive from the Thornton Gap to get to the main parking area for the Old Rag Loop. If you go out and back from a different trailhead to the top of Old Rag Mountain, you're likely going to miss out on the fun scramble part of this hike, so that's why I recommend the Old Rag Loop from this trailhead. In recent years, Shenandoah National Park implemented a permit system for Old Rag Mountain. You can find more information about obtaining your permit to do this hike in the link under this video. Once you have obtained your permit to hike Old Rag Mountain on a specific date and you show up at that trailhead, there is a ranger station there where you need to show your permit. There are restroom facilities, and the trailhead is off to your left. You begin this 9.4-mile loop with over 2,600 feet elevation gain through the forest on a series of switchbacks. The first part of this trail seems to take forever as you're going through the forest. It's just lots of switchbacks going up the mountain until you come to your first semi-open area where you start to get a glimpse of those mountain vistas around you. Shortly after your first beautiful view of the mountains, you continue hiking up and you'll make it to the scramble section. This is the most fun part of the hike. It also can be the scariest if you're not experienced with rock scrambling. It also can be a bit difficult to navigate. There are blue paint marks on the rocks, so be sure to follow those to stick to the designated route for the scramble. As I mentioned, this is a strenuous hike. This is not a hike for beginners. This is one of the more challenging day hikes in the park, so please be well prepared before attempting to do this hike. After the scramble section, you'll make it to the summit of Old Rag, which offers 360-degree views around. Continuing past the summit of Old Rag Mountain, you'll start heading downhill in general through the forest on a dirt and rocky path with lots of steps and roots and rocks in it. However, there aren't any more rock scrambles on your hike, and the last part of your hike is relatively easy as you're on a mildly sloping downhill fire road that is a nice wide path. If you are physically capable to do so, I highly recommend this hike. It is such a fun hike to do and you get a great workout. Number 5 on our list is to spend some time in the Big Meadows area of the park. This is located centrally around mile marker 51, and it's well named Big Meadows as there is a large open meadow perfect for wildlife viewing straight across the road from the Harry F. Byrd Visitor Center. Just outside the Visitor Center, you can find flush toilet restrooms. Inside the Visitor Center, you'll find various displays and helpful information about the history and nature in this park. Rangers are also stationed in that Visitor Center to help you with any questions you may have. And just a short walk to the right of the Visitor Center is the Big Meadows Wayside Building. Inside this Wayside Building, there is a gift shop. There is a restaurant space that has a little bit of dining area and to-go options. There also is a convenience store with food and camping items inside. Big Meadows area also has a gas filling station, so if you need to refuel your vehicle, you can do that in the Big Meadows area. Just past the Visitor Center, Wayside Building, and gas station is the Big Meadows Campground. This is a dry campground for tents and RVs. You can find out more information about booking a campsite on recreation.gov. If you want to hike to the highest peak in Shenandoah National Park, you're going to love number 6 on our list, which is the hike to the Hawksbill Summit. From this highest peak in the park, you have 360-degree views of the surrounding mountains and valleys. There are 2 parking areas for this trail to get you to the highest peak in the park, the Upper Hawksbill parking or the Hawksbill Gap parking located at mile marker 45.5. I did this hike starting at the Hawksbill Gap parking lot, which created a 2.7 mile loop with over 740 feet elevation gain. The trail is up most of the way until you get to that highest point in the park at about 4,050 feet above sea level. As you're approaching the summit, there is a day-use picnic shelter right there called Bird's Nest number 2. If you continue to the right past that shelter, you'll make it to the highest point in the park. Most of this hike is in the forest without a view until you get up to that vista section. As you're coming back down from Hawksbill Mountain, the trail back merges with the Appalachian Trail, so you do take a section of the Appalachian Trail back near the trailhead at the parking area. If your idea of a great hike is a leisurely flat stroll, loop type of hike, then you're going to enjoy number 7 on this list, the Limberlost Trail. The Limberlost Trail parking lot is located near mile 43 along Skyline Drive. There is limited parking in this lot, however, it's a short loop trail hike, so parking does become available often as people come and go. This is the only stroller and wheelchair accessible hike in Shenandoah National Park. This 1.4 mile loop has a path made of crushed stone, and a section of the trail is a boardwalk that takes you over a wetland area. The Limberlost Trail is a designated track trail, which features a self-guided brochure and informational signs along the hike that can turn this hike into a fun learning experience for kids of all ages. There are several benches placed along this trail as well, if you choose to stop and take a break or just relax on a bench and take in the sights of the beautiful nature surrounding you. Number 8 on this list is another one of the most popular hiking trails in Shenandoah National Park, which is the hike to Stony Man. Stony Man is located around mile marker 41.7 near the Skyland area of the park. You begin this 1.5 mile hike with about 320 feet elevation gain on the Appalachian Trail until you come to an intersection with the Stony Man path, which takes you to the Stony Man Overlook. Most of this hike will take you through a forested section until you come to the Stony Man Summit, which is a large, open outcrop of rock with beautiful surrounding views of the valleys and mountains. You can even see part of Skyline Drive if you look north from Stony Man. This hiking trail is rated as moderate. I recommend this hike for all age levels. Just be careful with smaller children when you get to the summit, as there are no guardrails and there can be some steep drops along the rocks. Number 9 on our list is to hike to Black Rock Summit, which is particularly beautiful in the evening hours around sunset time, as the trail has a section along Black Rock Summit facing west. The Black Rock Trailhead parking is located near mile marker 85 in the south section of Shenandoah National Park. This trail is just over 1 mile. You can make it a loop or you could go out and back. If you make it a loop, you'll start out on that Black Rock Summit Trail and come back down on the Appalachian Trail. There is about 180 feet elevation gain. I would still categorize this as an easy to slightly moderate hike for all age levels. This is also one of the few dog-friendly hikes in Shenandoah National Park. You'll know you made it to the Black Rock Summit area when you get to this massive boulder field. You can scramble up those boulders if you want to go up to the summit, but a lot of the boulders are loose, so just be careful if you do so. From this area, there are spectacular views of the surrounding mountains facing west-northwest. Here is an oil painting I did inspired by the sunset at Black Rock Summit in autumn. And finally, number 10 on our list is to check out the Dickey Ridge Visitor Center, located in the north section of Shenandoah National Park along mile marker 5. This visitor center area has a flush toilet restroom building in the parking area. This visitor center sits up on a ridge and has some beautiful views looking out at the surrounding mountains and valleys. From inside the visitor center, there are rangers there to assist you with any questions you have. There is a pretty awesome topographic map model that shows you the elevations of different peaks in the park. There also is a media room with a video playing that shows more information about the flora and fauna of Shenandoah National Park. And there are maps and signs with things to do in the park to help you plan your trip. Before I wrap up this video, I want to mention a few bonus items that are near Shenandoah National Park but not in the national park boundary. Number 1 on that list is the Luray Caverns, located in the town of Luray, Virginia. You can pay for a self-guided tour through these immense caverns that are lit, learning more about the geology and formation of this area. About 20 to 30 minutes north of Luray Caverns is Shenandoah River State Park. This is a beautiful state park with camping and day use areas with access to the Shenandoah River. There also is an overlook there with a beautiful view looking down at a horseshoe bend in the Shenandoah River. Finally, I wanted to mention that this area is scattered with numerous wineries and vineyards, so if you're into that type of stuff, you should definitely check out some local wineries and vineyards in the area. Alright guys, that wraps up my video of 10 things to do in Shenandoah National Park, Virginia. There are many more things to do. I could have gone into a lot more detail in this video, but I wanted to make it more of a broad introductory type of video. If you have questions about other hikes or recommendations for things to do in Shenandoah National Park, you can leave a comment under this video and I will respond to you with the best of my knowledge. You may have noticed that most of the popular things to do in Shenandoah National Park are located between mile marker 40 and mile marker 60. That's where the bulk of these popular items are located in the national park. However, if you take Skyline Drive from north end to south end or the opposite direction, you are going to see so much more of the national park, and I definitely recommend doing that if you have the time. Shenandoah National Park is a beautiful space tucked away in the Blue Ridge Mountains, yet still very accessible from the DC area. I enjoy coming back to Shenandoah National Park through different times of the year so I can see the changing seasons in the park. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button and let me know if you like this video. Have a wonderful day. If you're planning your own trip to Shenandoah National Park, have a wonderful time there and happy travels.